Texas Congressman Brian Babin and retired acting ICE Director Tom Homan both toured the southern border together. Jay joined us now to talk about what they saw, because they saw a lot more than just these images. Thanks to you both. Congressman, you're no stranger to this area. What was different about this visit?
Well, it's out of control. You know, I mean, in spite of what the Biden administration is telling us, this is not a crisis even. It's just a challenge, et cetera. We know it's a humanitarian crisis, not only for the migrants that were coming in. My heart just went out to some of these children in a facility there at Donna that should be holding 250, and they've got 5,700 people stacked in there like sardines. And they just don't seem to realize what's going on there. The Border Patrol, as Tom will tell you, or I think the morale is down, but they're doing a tremendous job. But they're batting with a short stick. And then opening up the borders of the United States of America and absolutely creating this problem and putting Americans in danger, as well as these migrants, and the stunning cost of what is happening there. It's just unbelievable, Brian.
I know. We're getting hotels. We're converting military bases. We're taking over the convention centers, not even telling the governors. Tom, it takes a lot to rattle you from what you saw. Where does this rank in outrageous scenes at the border in your career?
It's the worst, because this was totally preventable. You know, the Biden administration, the incoming administration, was briefed. They said, if you end these programs, we're going to see a surge like you've never seen before. They were briefed by leadership at ICE, at CBP. I've talked to the people that briefed them. And so they knew this would happen. Look, Brian, I wrote an op-ed in July of last year saying this would happen at the end of these policies. They knew what they were doing. Again, this isn't incompetence. This isn't, bad management. This is open borders. They design an open borders agenda, and that men and women Border Patrol feel abandoned because they're no longer enforcing the law. They're facilitating illegal entry at the instruction of the administration.
And you were telling me before they feel abandoned, but you used the word surge. You offended a congresswoman from Queens, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Here's what I'm talking about.
First of all, just gut check, stop. Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. This is not a surge. These are children, and they are not insurgents, and we are not being invaded.
Congressman, how dare you insult her by using the word surge?
Where is she now, Brian? Why isn't she down here? I can tell you, leading this delegation of Texas congressmen and former professionals in this very business, we actually asked, after Vice President Kamala Harris was given charge of the border situation by President Biden, we actually invited her. We invited her to come and visit with us at some of these spots on our itinerary. We heard nothing whatsoever. And absolutely, while this administration is telling us to continue to wear masks and only visit with just very few people up until to July, they are stacking people who are COVID positive, and children on top of one another, and releasing them into the public to fan out across Texas and across this United States in the middle of a pandemic. It's just hard to comprehend how they can justify this, except that I think this is their plan. They want open borders. They want as many of these people to come in and get on government assistance and become voting citizens, or at least voting people that would come in and continue the Democrat majority. And we just can't. I think people just need to wake up. And if it wasn't for people like you, Brian, and Fox News, they would not be getting the truth. And that's what we need, is the truth here.
Right. Tom, you insulted her when you used the warlike term surge.
Well, she needs to come down and talk to the men and women to put their uniform on every day and stand in that line.
She came down when Trump was president.
Oh, absolutely. But you haven't seen her since. Look, the men and women of the Border Patrol say it's a surge. The men and women of the Border Patrol is a crisis. The men and women of the Border Patrol know, as Brian Babin said, that these cartels are using these children and family units to throw them across the border and tie up their assets. 40% of Border Patrols assigned to the facility no longer have a line. So these cartels are moving drugs and bad people to unguarded areas. This is a national security crisis. And if she can't understand that or accept that, then she shouldn't be in Congress at all.
Yeah, what's unbelievable is the vice president was given this portfolio clearly by the president. She takes the weekend off and says, I'm not going to the border. I'm going to the origin of where the problem is. I don't know. Who's more powerful in that administration? It's hard to know. I don't even know what she's doing. But it's hard to believe that would be, you'd want the job and then not do the job. Congressman Tom Homan, thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian. Good to be with you.
All right.
God bless.
Thanks for doing what you did.